So this knife has almost everything going against it in my book. It's small. It's designed to primarily Spidey flick. And it's got a lot of hype over it. So those are all things that I just don't really like in the knife community. I've talked about the Spidey flick thing a number of times. And on my channel, I always have stuff that came out years ago, or I rarely go for the hypey brand new knife that just hit the market. That's just not me. I don't really wait in line at the drops and try to get the latest knife. And I don't know. That's just not me. I like what I like. And I've gotten some cool stuff over the years that has, come out, and I've gotten a drop and some stuff I thought is pretty cool. But this one never really excited me because there was so much hype. So my buddy Cliff, up in Alaska, dad to Dagny, who created this awesome PM2 as the father-daughter project. If you haven't seen my video, please go watch. It was just her birthday this week of filming, and she just turned 10. And at 9 years old, she created this knife, bought the parts on Etsy. Go watch that other video. So anyway, Cliff picked this up in Atlanta at Blade Show 2022. And basically the day that he got home from Atlanta back up to Anchorage, he boxed this up with a bunch of other knives, his daughter's knife included, and shipped them off to me with a note and a list of what all they were. So what you have here is the Oz Machine Company, made in, is it Indiana or Idaho? I can't. I'm drawing a blank right this second. I think it's Indiana. Indiana, pretty sure. The Oz Roosevelt or the Rosie. Comes in a cool box. They are all individually serialized, and that's on the blade, and I'll show you where that is, which has some cool things. And it comes with a little sticker and a card that is wedged in there to which you can't really take it out. But it gives you some of the information, and it's handwritten, and I appreciate that. It's a husband and wife team. It is primarily a Spidey flicker knife, which is my least favorite opening method partially because I suck. However, this is made for that. Like it's kind of embarrassing. I'm a knife guy that it takes a knife that's specifically designed to be Spidey flicked, reverse flicked, middle finger flicked for me to be able to do it because that one actually worked. I've tried that with this one a number of times, and it usually does not work. But this is a small knife, and we're going to go over some of the specs here in just a minute. It's designed to slow roll. On their website, they say it's designed to Spidey flick or slow roll. You can thumb flick it, but it's like a thumb disc where you have to push out to the side, not up like you would with a thumb stud. So that does work. And unbeknownst to me, this is not really designed as a front flipper. However, it seems to work okay as a front flipper. It feels really good in the hand. Okay, I'm not going to lie about that. It is on the small side for me if I don't choke up and take advantage of that front choil. But if I do, it feels very comfortable. No real hot spots. It feels nice. So as much as I don't want to like this, I actually kind of do. I can't lie. Now, this is not a base model. The base model has no milling on the scales. Stonewash blade, stonewash, knife, stonewash backspacer and all that on the base model. The base model starts at $700. They are using Magna Cut right now. And that's their primary steel. They're all made out of Magna Cut, which I think is kind of cool. Some of the cool little features that they have, if it will focus, is they put the serial number here on the blade that you can see when it is open. When it is closed. They put the blade steel right down here in the little pocket, right up in there, that then disappears when it's open. So does the serial number. I think that's a cool detail because I personally don't like a lot of branding on my knives. Like this on the stitch is way too much for me. Serial number, date, maker's marks, all that stuff. The blade steel, it's all right there on the blade. I don't like that. The fact that Oz hides all of that when the knife is open is pretty awesome in my book. This one has a lot of external milling. Now, they all have internal milling for the lightweightedness. Is that a thing? To make it lightweight? They all have the internal milling because these are super light. These are just under 3 ounces. My scale tells me it's 2.9 ounces, which is super light for a 3-inch bladed knife. So I appreciate that. This milling works really well. It's kind of grippy, but it's not enough to tear up your pocket. Not like a frag pattern or anything that's going to hinder the pocketability of the knife. The jimping is comfortable on top. It's there, but not aggressive, but yet solid. So we'll talk about some of the specs because it is a small knife, which again is not really my thing. I didn't even really compare it to the Delica yet, but let's do that. So it's smaller than the Delica, and I have said many a time that the Delica is too small. So it's 3 7/8 closed, just a hair under 7 inches overall. 3.07 on the blade with a 2.79 cutting edge. Behind the edge is incredibly thin at 0.008 at most spots. I think I measured this one a couple times because I wasn't sure. I was like, did I measure it right? And there was a couple spots where it was 0.007. Blade thickness is super thin also at 0.116. Magna Cut, which is kind of the hot super steel right now. Again, blade steels don't really matter to me as long as they're in the performance or premium range. I don't want some cheap, Pakistani type steel or whatever, right? But as long as it's up there, M390, S35, S45, I'm good. I think most people aren't going to notice the difference anyway. But this is Magna Cut. Like I said, weighs in at 2.9 ounces, and it's only 0.403 thick minus the clip. So this disappears in your pocket. Now, does it disappear as much as the 1.5 ounce interface? No, it doesn't. The interface is a little longer, but it's thinner. So this disappears at 1.5 ounces. But this runs on ceramic bearings. It has a steel lock bar insert that acts as an over travel stop, and it has 2 ceramic detemp balls for less friction on the blade and less sound, a different sound because there's 2 balls for it to kind of step off of the lock bar when it deploys open. It's a full flat grind, so this thing is going to be slicey dicey. All titanium hardware, 1/4-inch pivot. Now on their website, and I'll put a link to that down below, you can build your own. Now, they're not selling them that way, But you can build out. They list all of the options, different finishes, different milling. They have some Timascus clips. They can do a dark Timascus. They can do a bunch of different options in the finishing of the blade, of the handles. Okay, that was the Delica. This is the PM2. Kind of a cool father-daughter knife set right there. Since I pulled out the VC Edge interface, give you an idea there, this 3.6 inch blade. How about the Sharpie? Because I kind of usually lead off with that, but you know, I'm a little bit surprised by how much I kind of like this knife, even though it has everything in its book stacked against me liking it. If you told me it was only a Spidey flicker and it was under 3 inches, you know, just about a 3-inch blade, and that it had all the hype, I'd be like, yeah, I don't care. But I was interested in seeing it because of all the hype. I wanted to see. So I'm interested in seeing. But I don't think this is something I would own. But that's just because it's a personal preference. I think it's a great knife. I think if you're into the 3-inch size knives, this is a really good option if you can find one. They do lotteries and they list those on their website. And it's kind of a following right now. I know there's a lot of people wanting these. There's a lot of other channels that are wanting to see these as well. And I think it's cool to get these out for people to see. So let me know your thoughts. If you own one, let me know your thoughts on how much you like it, because I would love to hear. For me, it's just too small. $700 as a base model. This one's more because of the blade finishing and the milling. But I've seen them going for $1,200 and $1,500 on the secondary, which I don't get into that hype much either. But I don't know. I think it's very cool. I think it's all United States made. So that's a big plus. And there you have it. Thanks a lot, everyone. I do greatly appreciate your time. Let me know your thoughts.